Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Before we get started, let me remind you that all the products used will be listed in the description box below, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So I haven't done one of these flowers in a really long time, and I've had a lot of people ask for me to do more of these. So I thought I'd give it a try yesterday, and before I knew it, this flower started getting away from me. So I'm working on photo paper, and I put down some sailboat blue, then I put some pebble around it, and I dried it with my embossing gun because my dryer wasn't plugged in and I didn't feel like crawling underneath my desk, so I used my embossing gun. And you can see that the heat starts to buckle the paper a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. So I put a little bit of, now I'm trying to straighten out the paper, but that didn't work too well. I put a little pitch black in the center, and this is where I went wrong. I started blowing out the petals, not realizing that the alcohol I was using had the color brass in it also. So it wasn't moving the way I wanted it to, and I didn't realize it. Oh, that's where I realized it. But I figured, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. So I continued to blow out the flower, and you can see that my petals weren't blowing out very nicely. But I decided not to give up on it. And I just kept blowing the petals to see where it would lead me. And this happens often. Sometimes I start blowing out a flower and the petals aren't going in the direction that I want, or they're very leggy, and I usually continue until it's either improved or ready for the garbage. And you can see here what was happening with the petals, and I think it has to do with the brass in it, the color brass. But I start using more and more alcohol, and my petals start looking a little bit better. So I just keep blowing petals. I probably would have given up, but I was determined. And that's a wonderful thing about alcohol ink, is that you can just keep going. And in this type of painting, it's not like you can really overwork it, because what happens is you're blowing the ink off of the paper, so you can always just add more. So here my petals start coming together a little bit. They start improving. So I put a little bit of, I think that was pebble, in the center. Because I lost most of that color and only ended up with the black and the blue. And you can see the copper in it. And it actually turned out really nice, because even though you can't see it in the picture, in real life, the copper looks really pretty. It gives the petals a really nice shimmer. The PSI on my compressor is set at 40. Now I think I put down some pitch black, and I'm just smoothing it around with my finger so it doesn't get away from me. And then I'm blowing some spindly petals, and the way I do that is by following the alcohol with the airbrush off of the paper instead of staying in one spot. So I'm just going all around the flower. And I think I'm finally satisfied with the way the flower looks. For the center, I'm using Snow Cap and a micro brush. And I start tapping around the center, leaving one little black spot in the middle. And as you can see, the pitch black is absorbing the white, as it always does. But because these types of centers require layers, I'm okay with that. So now I'm just going around creating the outer ring for the center, adding multiple layers. And I want the outside of this ring that I'm making to kind of fade a little bit, also towards the center before it touches the inner circle that I made with the white snow cap. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a heavier layer of the snow cap in the center of the outer ring, so it looks like a highlight and it looks more dimensional. So in other words, the outside and inside of that outer ring will be a softer white, while the middle of it is a brighter white. I hope that makes sense. And I'm doing the same for that center circle. You can see here that I'm staying in the center of that ring of dots and not adding very much around the outside. Again, going around the inner circle to highlight that white. And now this is where I start adding a heavy layer of the white to that outer circle, but only in the center of it. Now my paper is pretty flat. That worked out well. And now I'm using a gel pen to create little lines to give it more depth. I want to break up some of that white. And in between the two rings that I did, I'm making little lines to connect them. And just dabbing a few little dots around the white as well as lines. And I really think that that makes the center look more dimensional. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be sure to do more like this. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Enjoy your day. Bye.